Welcome back to Building a Workshop. In the previous episode, we finished the exterior. Now we move to the inside and we start on the trim.
Hey guys, as you can see, if you take a look around, the workshop's pretty much done. We still have to trim it out, but what we're doing today is the sheetrock got done and all the sanding. Of course, if you've ever worked with sheetrock, a lot of sheetrock droppings, a lot of dust. Like over here, it's just tons of dust. What helps get it up, if you've never used this product, it's called Zep. And if you put it down, it actually binds to the dust. So once you try to sweep it, if you look at this, it just sweeps right up and it makes the floor look like this from that to this. So I highly recommend this if you're trying to get up dust of any sort, especially sheetrock dust. We're gonna clean the place up and then we'll start trimming it out, and we'll photo or we'll try to video a little bit more when we start trimming it out so you can kind of look at how we're going to trim it out. We're going to use Sawn lumber from the lumber shed. We're going to run it through the planer, and then we'll run it through the shaper and put a little edge on it, and we'll start putting, we'll trim it out with all that rough sawn lumber that we have in the woodshed. I look forward to showing you guys that. In the meantime, we're going to keep sweeping and get this place cleaned up.
After we had finished sweeping up all the drywall dust, we came in with the pressure washer. And the reason that we used the pressure washer was we really just wanted to get all the stuff that wouldn't get swept up. So here we're using the pressure washer, and what we have on the end is a surface cleaner. So what this does is it basically spins around in a circle, and it also keeps all the water from flying up and hitting the walls. It worked really well. Now what we're doing is we are planing one side of the baseboard in the trim.
So Makita makes several, well, they make all kind of tools, but they make several planers. I believe this is the largest planer they make. It's a 12-inch planer. I'm gonna guess this thing weighs, I don't know, 35, 40 pounds. It gives you the ability to plane large lumber. We've got some 8x10s in the wood shop that we're gonna be planing for the timber frame later this year. So we whipped it out and we're doing the smaller lumber because of the DeWalt not being able to take care of it. And it gives you the ability to move, it's easily adjustable. Here are the marks, and here's the way you do it. You adjust it up and down to get your depth on the planer. On the back side, on the underneath, obviously that's the business. And then there's a lock. Also, the one thing you may notice is this has a protective guard on it. We've taken it off, so when we plane, it doesn't get stopped up. I've noticed that that's one thing that this planer will do, is it will get stopped up occasionally, so taking the guard off has helped significantly. I'm not sure it's recommended by Makita, but certainly it's helped us a great deal.
Now, why'd you get this instead of a 3 horsepower planer?
Why did I get this? Because you can't, with the timber framing, this is real. There may be other planers, don't get me wrong, but this is the one that's highly recommended for timber framing. And you're actually taking the tool to the wood versus the wood to the tool. And that allows you to do very, very large lumber or timbers, up to 12 inches, obviously.
How much does like a 12 by 12 by 12 weigh?
Oh God, 12 by 12, how long?
12.
12 feet? 12, oh yeah, 12 by 12 by 12. If it's green, 2 guys can pick it up, but it's all you can do to pick it up. And I'm talking all you can do. Generally what we do is we use metal roll bars and put it on it and roll it on the metal roll bars, because you're going to be able to pick it up once or twice, 2 or 3 people will, but after moving, I don't know, half dozen or so, you're done for the day. So moving it on, using a tractor and using the roll bars that we use allow us to move lumber all day long. I really don't know how much it weighs. It's just, it's a lot. It's more really than 2 people can handle.
So you couldn't take it and put it through a planer?
No, virtually impossible. Well, planer couldn't handle it. I mean, it may be the height and everything, but the weight of trying to get it up there and planing it and getting it off is just too much. So we're now putting up the molding. And again, we kept this really simple. As I mentioned the other day, we planed down, that's a beautiful piece of wood. It's got a lot of design and a lot of a lot of markings on it. But we planed down some 1x4s and run them through the planer, or run the planer over them actually. It's a big hand planer. Then we ripped them, get a pretty smooth edge. Again, this is a workshop. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to look good. Then we're coming in and we're marking real quickly. I'm coming back 1/4 of an inch to leave a 1/4 of an inch reveal around the windows. You always want to leave a reveal. You never want to put it straight up to it. Some people leave it wider, some people thinner. I like about a 1/4 of an inch on this, since this is rough sawn wood. And so I'll go to each corner, put a 1/4 of an inch, and there'll be my marks that I'll follow. Do it here, 1/4 of an inch. Downward, a 1/4 of an inch. And you'll notice I'm not using the end of my tape to do this. I'm actually pulling 1, 2, or 3 inches off and then marking a 1/4 of an inch from the 3. If you pull from here, you could end up getting a piece of sheetrock or something hung, and then you'll be a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch off down here versus up at the top. Let me get the top done and then I'll put the molding on real quick. Jack mentioned earlier this has got to be the quickest and easiest molding job we've ever, the trim job we've ever done. Of course, it's not a house, it is a workshop. So now I got all my corners marked, and that'll be the line on which I'll work off of. Okay guys, you're going to notice something about this piece of wood. Although it's beautiful, there's a knot right there. If I shoot here or anywhere around that knot, the odds of this little skinny nail going through without breaking the wood, pretty slim. More than likely it's going to break it. So I'm going to move down below that knot to nail this trim, and then we'll come back and evaluate it later. The other thing you don't want to do is on these windows, you see the slides or the inserts here, and my brain's going crazy. I can't even remember what they're called, but it doesn't really matter. If you shoot straight in, you're going to bust that. Trust me, I've done it before, so I know. So be careful when you shoot the window, angle the nail back. Don't angle it straight in, and when you get away from it, you can obviously go straight in. Let me jump down here and finish nailing this. Of course, we chose the video where we got more junk around here than anything else. There we go.
So this isn't your normal nail gun.
Well, it's not the one I normally use, no.
But it's not. What are you nailing it with?
This is a DeWalt, a battery operated one, keeps the cord out of the way. The one I normally use is an orange gun, not a yellow gun. But I do like this gun a lot, and the main reason I like it is 2 reasons. One, you don't have to worry about the gas. On the pass load that I use, I have gas. Then I also have a battery I have to deal with. Here, you only have a battery you have to deal with. The other thing I really like about it is it's quiet. I don't have to wear my ear protections. With most other guns that I use, I have to have my ear protections in at all times. They're just way too loud, but this one's not that way. And it's fairly light. So there are a lot of advantages and benefits to this particular gun.
So it's not a normal framing nail that you're shooting?
Oh, no, these are what I call trim nails. I don't know if that's in focus or not. What is this, 18 gauge?
15 gauge?
15 gauge, 2.5 inch, is that right, Jack? A little long, but we're doing 2.5 because this is a little thicker than our normal trim. Normally we could get by with 2 inch, but this is 15 gauge, 2.5 inch trim nail. Let's see if we can get it in this gun. There you go. Okay, back to work. Okay.
Go.
Thank you, Jack. Let's see if we can get this on there. Perfect. I like to use my finger. It's interesting that you can use your eyes, and my eyes aren't that good, so maybe that's why I use my finger. When you touch it and it's even and smooth, you'll know it immediately. Don't even need to look at it. It's there and you know it. So my last check, now that I've shot these mountains, you'll see if I screwed up or not. If I wasn't low enough, this window's not gonna open. It'll be nailed shut. Whew, got lucky. So here again, if I nailed through this plastic, this window would get nailed and it wouldn't open. That's why you may have noticed I keep the nails down a little bit and angled. Otherwise, I'd be coming right in the bottom of this window and shooting a hole in it. Okay, did you cut a top, Jack?
No.
No, well, can you cut me one?
You got it.
Oh, Jack. Perfect fit. And again, finger. Spot on. Spot on. Damn, Jack, you're getting good at being a cut man. You've even learned the little dots, little lines on the tape measure, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nah, good job. That's a great cut. I just like to harass you occasionally. It makes me feel good. I don't know why. Whoa! Oh, people cannot be falling. There you go, guys. One window complete. Yeah, it's real simple. Nothing fancy about it. No miter cuts. Just straight cuts and nail it up and we're done. Moving on to the next window and door.
After all the windows and doors were trimmed out, we started trimming out what I would call the baseboard of the workshop. As you know, we did a footing and then we had block laid on top of that footing. And to give us a higher ceiling in the workshop, we had the block masons add about 3 blocks from the final grade. So what this allowed us to do was we could still use 8-foot studs, but we would have, 9, 10-foot ceilings in the workshop, which is really nice. A really good tip is that if the trim is not flush, sometimes those nail guns, it won't make it tight enough. We'll go back and we'll hand drive a trim nail, a real big one, and it will really tighten it all up. After we drive it, we'll take a nail punch, as you'll see here, and it'll just drive it in more so it's not visible on the wood. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Check us out on the next episode where we start building an addition on the workshop. See you guys in the next video.